Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Amir Farish bin Amishah. My matrix number is 20244608. Today, me and my group from M110 Group 2C for subject PAD 120 Introduction to Political Science, we will present about how can political science help solve global human rights issues such as refugee crisis, political oppression or restriction on free speech. How does democracy influence these solutions? For my part, I will begin with introduction, role of political science in addressing this issue, and I will end it with conclusion. So to begin my parts, I will start with introduction. So, how can political science help solve global human rights issues such as refugee crisis, political oppression, or restriction on free speech? To begin with, political science plays an important role in understanding and solving global human rights issues such as refugees, crisis, political oppression, and restriction on free speech. It helps us study how power, government system, and international relationships affect the protection or violation of human rights. By analyzing this structure, political science helps create better policies and actions to protect vulnerable groups including refugees and oppressed communities. How does democracy influence these solutions? Democracy is often linked to stronger human rights protection because it encourages public participation and follows the rule of law. However, democracy is not always a perfect solution, especially when economic and social rights are involved. Political science helps us see both the strength and weakness of democratic system in defending human rights and shows how they can be improved to ensure justice and fairness for all. That's all for introduction. Thank you.
Systematic review of global human rights condition. First one is universal human rights. Human rights belongs to everyone, regardless of gender, race, nationality, or any other status. This includes the right to live, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of expression, and access to work and education. Second thing is state and society's responsibility. Governments and society must protect and promote individual rights by creating fair laws, prosecuting violations, and ensuring access to essential services like housing, health, and education. Third thing is armed conflict and violations. Wars such as the ongoing conflict in Sudan cause severe human rights abuses including mass killings, sexual violence, and forced displacement. The international response is often inadequate. Fourth thing is authoritarianism and repression. Many governments are increasing restrictions on freedoms of expression, assembly, and association. Examples include mass imprisonment of Uyghurs in China and violent crackdowns on protests in Bangladesh and other countries. Comprehending political science. First one, political science as a mature and enabling discipline. Political science has grown into a mature and professional field guided by established tradition and practices. These frameworks both constrain and empower researchers, enabling collaboration and building on post-knowledge. Second thing is political science relevance to real-world challenges. Despite advances, humanity still struggles with major collective issues like climate change, nuclear proliferations, democratic transition, taxation, healthcare, and political polarization. Political science is uniquely positioned to study and offer insights into how societies make collective decisions and address these challenges. That thing is the role of legitimate coercion. Political systems often face situations where individuals or groups have conflicting interests, making collective action difficult. Legitimate coercion refers to the justifiable use of power or force by governments or legal authorities to enforce rules and achieve common goals.
Next, we move to role of political science in addressing this issue. Political science helps us understand global human rights problems like refugee crisis, political oppression, and limits on free speech. It examines how power, law, ethics, and government system affect people rights. By doing this, political science shows how and why human rights are sometimes ignored or violated, especially when leaders of institutions misuse their power. It also highlights the important role of government, NGO, and communities in protecting these rights. In addition, political science looks at how to balance a country's independence with the need to follow international human rights standards. It helps shape fair laws and policies, especially those that protect freedom of speech and minority rights. Political science teaches us that a good government is not just about who rules, but how they rule with fairness, responsibility, and respect. It also reminds us that change is possible when people, governments, and organizations work together to build a more just and equal society for all. That's all for role of political science in addressing this issue. Thank you.
The function of democracy in upholding the human right. First is protecting human right regardless of race. Democracy encourages us to express our right against brutal oppression committed by much larger group. We can express our right in many ways, such as media social, demonstration, and more. When the government sees the demonstration, they will act according to the federal constitution and make a law that everyone will be treated equally and anyone abusing the minority will be punished according to the national law. Second is prevent abusing of power. Democracy prevents absolute authority by preventing one man or certain group from holding all the power. Democracy encourages a separation of power to three sections, which are executive, legislative, and jurisdiction. Each of these sections is held by a different man. Lastly, protecting the criminal right. Democracy protects the criminal from mob justice. Mob justice does not care about the crime committed by the criminal. Only if he or she commits any kind of the crime deserve a beating. Democracy protects these criminals by making a law that protects them throughout the sentencing process and the period serving of the sentences. Recommendation and future direction. We recommend strengthening the national law so it can apply to all citizens without some of them hiding behind their status. It also prevents a certain group of people abusing the power that was given to them. Therefore, judges are able to carry out their duty without any restriction. Other than that, we also recommend educating the citizens on their rights and responsibilities so they cannot easily be abused by anyone who has authority against them. They also can learn the importance of voting in national elections to set a better path for the country. We also put some of our thought of the future direction of democracy in upholding human rights. We think that democracy is able to address inequality and discrimination in public welfare. It can be done by showing the government spending in detail for public view. It also gains public trust in democracy by showing the government only spend on citizen needs. Lastly, we think that democracy encourages international collaboration between the democratic countries. This collaboration can bring a lot of benefits, such as humanitarian mercenary, capturing international criminals, and more.
Not least, to sum it all, political science play a key role in addressing human rights issues like refugees, political oppression, and limits on free speech. It helps us understand how government work, how power can be used or misused, and how international relationships affect human rights. By studying this system, political science explains why some groups are treated unfairly and how both local and global efforts can protect those who are vulnerable. It also helps shape better laws and policies by looking at real-life problems and offering smart, fair solutions, especially for refugees and minority society. While democracy is one of the best systems to protect human rights, it only works well when institutions are strong, laws are respected, and people stay involved. In the end, political science doesn't just explain the problems, it gives us the tools to create a better, fairer world where everyone's rights are respected. That's all from us. Thank you very much.